Hello, my name is Sean Slayman. I am the fire chief for the Carson City Fire Department. We're discussing today a fire that occurred early this morning. It came in at 3:54 for a vehicle on fire. Fire units arrived on scene in 7 minutes from time of dispatch. We had law enforcement on scene within 2 minutes of the initial dispatch. In total, we had 4 vehicles that were damaged by fire. We had investigators out immediately on scene, as well as in partnership with our sheriff's department. The fire has been determined to be arson, and we are currently investigating the incident itself. There have been numerous fires over the last couple weeks in the Carson City area, so we are looking at all of those to determine whether or not there are any links to any of those fires at this point. Estimated damage right now is about $70,000, $50,000 to $70,000, and that is just of vehicles and I believe one tree.
Do you guys have any suspects?
At this time, no, we don't. We are investigating and we are looking for leads. If anybody does have any tips or any information, number is 887 COPS, COPS, or 887 FIRE, FIRE. And you can remain anonymous, but if anybody has any tips, anybody saw anything suspicious in the area, we would appreciate any information.
Do you guys know how many fires that you guys are investigating right now in conclusion with this one?
We have a couple fires that are under investigation. There's been no determination whether there is a link or not. A couple of them have been suspicious of circumstance, but this one has been determined to be arson at this point.
Should the public be worried at all?
No, we just ask everybody to be aware. So far, the fires have been confined to the recent fires have been confined to dumpsters, open fields, a building under construction, and then these vehicles which were not occupied. So there's been no indications of immediate threat to the public itself, but we do ask everyone to be aware. Many of these fires are happening very early in the morning or very late in the evening. So if you do see suspicious vehicles about or people driving up and down the street that don't normally belong in your neighborhood, we ask that you contact us immediately.
I don't know if you said the time frame. Has it been like days, weeks? How long has this been going on?
So we don't know if there is a link to these fires. We've had a little bit of an uptick in fires recently. We had a structure fire for an apartment unit under construction about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. We had a couple dumpster fires over the 4th of July time frame, 4th, 5th, and 6th, I believe, were the dates on those, and then a couple vacant field fires. And again, we haven't determined that there's any link at this point, but we are not leaving anything. We're investigating everything. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So the initial call came in as an explosion. After investigating, there does not appear to be any explosion. Very common in car fires is tires do explode, not necessarily an explosion, but under pressure, under heat, they expand, and there is a large noise tied to that, as well as most vehicles between your hoods, and if you have a hatchback, the gas struts that are involved in allowing the hood to be up or down, it's very common for those to heat up and to create a minor explosion, but there was no actual indication of any explosive device whatsoever. It was just related to the fire itself.
And one more question. What would be your next steps in this process? Is it, unfortunately, is it waiting for something like this to happen?
So we are working with law enforcement. We are working the area, and we are looking for any leads. And certainly right now we are looking at all options that would tie anything suspicious to the area.
And as of now, there's no injuries. No one has been hurt in any of these fires.
Correct. We've checked with the local hospitals and to see if somebody self-admitted. There's been no burn patients admitted of recent date, so nothing to indicate any, and certainly no injuries on scene.
Have you guys noticed any trends? So I know there was the last, the townhouses, and now it's an apartment complex. So are they going for townhouses, apartments?
those are just two fires themselves, and again, we're not sure they're related. So there's been no obvious trend as of yet, other than the majority of them are happening very early in the morning or late in the evening.
So we have this fire, we have the Little Lane fire.
Correct.
And then we have a series of dumpster fires on July 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a couple of small brush fires that happened about when.
Over the last 2 weeks.
Just mind if I cut in really quick just at this time?
And the Little Lane fire, so I'm clear, that has been determined to be arson, correct?
Don't know if it's been officially declared as arson. It is still being investigated as suspicious at this point, unless I have anything different than that.
And I'm sorry, how much did you say in damages again?
Last night's fire was approximately $50,000 in damage.
Both of them are of suspicious origin.
Okay.
So which ones are the ones that are suspicious?
So there was a apartment under construction off of Little Lane on Centennial that was suspicious, and that was about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. And then the fire last night, which we've declared as arson at this point.
Do you have any suspects at this time?
We do not have any suspects at this point, and we're asking for the help from the public if they've seen anybody in the area suspicious, anything through social media, 887-COPS and 887-FIRE. You can report anonymously.
Do you have any idea how it was started yet?
We know it's an accelerant at this point. We have not determined, we've taken samples and it's gone off to the lab at this point to determine the type of accelerant from last night's fire.
Little Lane fire, was there an accelerant with that?
I don't know if we've determined that. Have we determined that there was an accelerant? There was an accelerant then, so. And
In regards to new information for the Carson car fire this morning,
Mhm.
Sorry, it might be a repeated question, but
Sure.
I apologize for being late. What are we looking at as far as new information goes?
So we have determined it is arson. We don't have any suspects at this point. It is under investigation. We're asking for the public's help. No injuries were reported, and the damage was confined to 4 different vehicles, and then a tree and some shrubs.
I walked in the middle of it. Is there a belief that this is connected in a string of other events?
We're looking into that at that point. We don't have anything that we have tied to the events. However, we have seen an increase recently of several fires, varying from small fields to dumpsters to the vehicles last night and to an apartment complex under construction, the Little Lane fire. So we're looking in to see if there's any links to any of those.
Any questions for the sheriff?
We're living in paperwork.
Yeah,
How are you, sir? Hey!
I'll talk to you.
Anything else,
it's your
anything else, you guys?
I mean, if there's no different information than no latest on the suspects or no information, I'm good with that.
We are asking for the public's assistance. Sometimes the most minute of details for anyone who might have been out and about last night can be a significant break in an investigation. If you were traveling out and about in the area of East Highway 50 of Carson City out near College Parkway, at about the 4 o'clock or shortly before 4 a.m. time frame, anything that might have come to your attention, we are asking for that information. Again, the most minute of leads could result in a case breaking. I do anticipate working with secret witness on this as well, but at this stage I have not had that confirmed yet. But I'm sure secret witness will also be working with us on this case.
A couple witnesses this morning were saying that they saw 2 men running away from the scene. Is that something that you guys have been able to find helpful information? Or?
I can't confirm that at all. That's not consistent with the information that we received. No, there are no suspects as far as descriptions or people running away officially, and the latest briefing is just as of an hour ago.
As far as damages goes, do we have a number yet on the vehicles surrounding the vehicle as well that was set on fire?
The 4 vehicles that were in that adjacent parking area, some of the shrubbery and trees around it, that the damage was limited to right there. Sadly, those folks probably will be pretty well strapped financially to replace those vehicles when they come out in the morning to go to work in the mornings. Again, it is an apartment complex, and many of those folks don't have an abundance of money to just be able to replace a car on the spot.
Do we know which car was the origin car of that where the fire was started?
I don't know that. That piece is still under investigation. Certainly there are 4 cars that did burn, and the suggestion would be the 2 outer cars probably burned as a result of the main fire, but all 4 were damaged as a result of it.
If you guys were able to find the origin car where this fire started, what would be the next step in connecting that?
Regardless of the origin car, all of the owners of all of the vehicles have been interviewed today. We are looking for anything that, such as a reprisal type of an event. None of that information is surfacing.
Cool,
Very
you
good.
guys.
Thank you, guys.